this event, and that will help him consolidate. There's still one more to come before that mid-year cut, as we see John Florence in Heat 7 getting things started up against João Chianca. And what a combination on the outside. Two monster turns to kick things off. Last time we were here at Bells, John was holding that big trophy and ringing it. He wants to get there again. We missed him last season, but what a way to kick things off. Can he get the finish? He does, and that is the dream start. And the rookie is going to try and answer now. João Chianca, such an exciting young talent. Already showed us great flair in the opening round, and how's that rail turn? Just holds it from the top right through to the trough, and still moving with plenty of speed at the moment. A great response against the two-time world champ and former Bells winner. And getting our first look at Chianca here. Ronnie Blakey joined by former CT surfer Rich Lovett. Rick, this is going to be a special heat. Last time these guys met, it was in the 4th round, the round of 16 over there at Pipe. And, man, it was a high-scoring heat. Yeah, it was a great heat, and this is setting up to be an amazing matchup. Bells has come to the party. We've got incredible conditions, and that first exchange, both of our surfers look like they're ready to go, and it's just a pleasure to watch John Florence. When he starts firing up that rail, he makes it very, very difficult. But João looks like he wants to rise to the occasion. He got a good score as well. Yeah, they're coming to the party. You look like you're going to a party. Yeah, I know, mate. It's kind of shedding the layers here at Bells. It's heating up out there. It's mid-20s, and it's probably going to go higher. So I thought, let's bring the Hawaiian vibes. I love it. Well, John Florence is bringing it on his first ride, an 8.93. What an incredible way to kick things off. I mean, they couldn't show restraint on the scale, the way he surfed the opening section of that wave. Big, clean conditions, and it gives him a real edge. But you've got to give credit to this rookie. This kid is a dynamite talent. He's come on, he's pushing the best. He overcame Jack Robinson in the Pipe event. That is a massive feat. And even though he finds himself below the cut line at the moment, you could see him making a huge jump here. He's got a huge task ahead of him, though. Oh, look at this surfing from John Florence, just laying into those huge turns. The second one in particular just puts a little bit more emphasis on it. Great rail transitions all the way through to the inside. I love how John just keeps that board flowing. Comes onto the inside section. Hits that foam. He's not done yet. Knows there's some more scoring opportunity. And belts that final section. That felt good. Then João Chianca slams on the brakes on the first turn. Streaks back down the line. A nice carving turn. Held that one for longer. Comes off the bowl section. And again, gives us his version of some rail work all the way through to the inside. Showing some flair. Great exchange, but only a point behind Ronnie, so he's not out of this yet. He'll feel good about the fact, whoa. Oh, that's a dodgy situation there. He's lost his board on the trip back out. It's flicking around behind him and inspecting it for any damage there. Kaipo watching on out the back. Did the board survive, Kipes?
Yeah, it looks like the board's okay, but you know, on the ride back out, it was unusual. We were talking about that João Chianca chose to stay in a prone position on the sled in the back of the ski rather than getting into saddle. Now, what that's going to do is that's stress on your board, and that's stress on yourself. You know, you want to kind of maybe get off the ski, get on the saddle, especially when you're skiing back out. But João just stayed in that position. We'll see how that affected the board. But you know, your board can get damaged on the back of the ski. But I also do want to talk about John's wave from the water perspective run. Just the angles that John's able to create is absolutely incredible. You can almost hear the fins buzzing out here in the channel as he's pushing through those turns.
Unbelievable. We're seeing it again from your perspective, Kipes. Just again, John has the ability to actually harness speed and lay that board in deep enough that it doesn't skip out. They were dynamic opening moves. They must have looked awesome from out there.
Yeah, the board looks small under John. Like you would think he's overpowering the board, but actually what's happening is he's sinking so much of that board into the water, the rail line, and just bearing it and pushing against it. It really is a sight of beauty, and it shows you why John Florence is at the level that he is, because there's certain turns that nobody else in the world can do other than John.
He just flares up, Rich, when he finds energy in the ocean and he gets a steep wall. He kind of does turns that no one can really match the size of.
Pound for pound, power for power. He's got this ability to lay that rail so hard that it is hard to match. And his technique with that back arm that he throws into the wall, he's able to lean into the board even more and put even more power into the turn. It's quite amazing to watch. And conditions-wise, this is just perfect for John.
It sure is. Reflecting on his victory here in 2019, almost started in similar fashion. In the opening round, Jackson Baker was able to get the jump on him. But last year, he only had a 13-point heat score total in the first round. After that, he went loony, 17.67, 18.16. Here goes João Chianca after just a low score to get into the lead at the moment. And this guy is so jacked up right now. He is just throwing everything at this medium-sized set wave, knowing that he has to. If you're going to take off on medium-sized sets against John, you better just surf out of your skin. Chianca, I don't think he'll hang on to that ride at the end of this heat, Rich, but you can see that he's on.
Yeah, he's fizzing, and well, great surfing, Ron. I reckon he's rising to this occasion. He's rising to the challenge, and he looks ready to go. You can just see how much energy he's putting into each and every maneuver on these waves. Jumps up on the ski there, so that's what Kaipo was saying about, just getting off the sled. Let's check the replay. Look at the energy already, the extension in the body. Slams up onto the lip, drives around again. I love this carve. Extending. Whenever you wrap that board all the way around from the top of the wave, you get the nose back into the foam section. It's what we call a roundhouse cutback. And João executing that one with precision.
Yeah, amazing. I think, you know, if you're going to get John, your best chance is probably in the earlier rounds before he really starts to gather some momentum. That first wave is I think a bit scary for João. John's up again. Beautiful rail turn. Really took it high and now mixes it up, releasing the tail through that second maneuver. Big roundhouse cutback just before this wave starts to hit that deeper water. It will go again though, and John's starting to get on that front foot, work this board, keep it pumping. Wants more points out of this inside, where he has stomped some of the most impressive turns we've seen on some of those bigger years, and he's looking comfortable on the inside today.
Beautiful surfing, magnificent. And for me, Ron, more variety on that wave. He went to the trademark carve, and then on the second slash, pushed the tail a little bit further, got some progression in there. And he is on fire. What
a start. Yeah, I was touching on that 2019 performance. You know, he just collected excellent heats right throughout. Here's the replay of this last ride. This is going to go high again.
Oh, big wrap. And then watch this second turn. Brings it right around. And just slides the fins ever so quickly, but always in control. And one thing that John does really, really well is that hinging between the top half and the bottom half of his board. His body. Just watch the turn, gets low, gets on the hillside rail, high with the back arm. Now he brings it down low, that hits the accelerator. And then the second turn, watch the upper and lower body. The upper body twisting around, the lower body follows. Really dynamic. Incredible surfing here from the former world champion.
So finely tuned, note perfect through his first two rides. He juiced all the points he could out of them, and just the flow between maneuvers was seamless. João Chianca, he's kind of got some fast twitch action happening at the moment. He's putting up good numbers too, but just not quite strong enough to match it with John at this stage. 7.6 wave selections probably got a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. Looking at the scoreboard, João would be taking a little bit of confidence in the fact that he's matched John's second score. But if he really wants to get into that 8-9 point range, he is going to have to pick an absolute pearler of a wave.
Great conditions today on day 5 of the event window here. The 59th edition of the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach, and huge matchups coming your way, and you know, probably none more exciting than the one we're watching right now, just based on the pulse of this swell, the sets arriving, coming to the party. And João is up again. Nice big carve to get started. Pushing that board to the point of release on the second maneuver. Great control. Two incredibly informed surfers battling it for a place in the round of 16. The youngster is chasing an 8.71 out of this ride to get in front. As he takes a high line before dropping low and looking for the finish on the inside. The wave was tricky to read, did very well to finish it off.
I love this. This is a great exchange, and showing no signs of nerves. If anything, the complete opposite. He's just been given a little shot of adrenaline because the way he's surfing right now, he wants to take it to John Florence. Great wave.
Is John starting to hit this zone, Rich, which we've seen him here before, the zone that we've seen him at Margaret River so many times?
Yeah, he's clicking. You can feel it clicking. It's happening. And it's danger signs for everyone.
We had Shannon Hughes on the steps before, watching John and Ross prepare for this heat. And John just had his arms crossed. He just looks so focused. But João Chianca is not giving it to him, that's for sure.
No way. Have a look at this. Whack. Critical turn. And then this one here extends it. Gives John a piece of his own medicine and emulates that layback hack in the pocket. Feeling it through the inside here. Bringing it all the way through to this final section. And the legs are burning at that point. Nice and low on the bottom turn. Very similar approach. Just carving. Beautiful technique. Gets the fins free, throws the progression in. He gets this little bonus section, Ronnie, up under the lip. Again, throwing the back arm in, getting all that power through the tail pad, through the fins. And this is setting up to be an incredible matchup.
Yeah, what you can't hear at the moment is down on the beach just the crowd's reaction to each of the turns that these two competitors, all the competitors are throwing down on the Bells Bowl, making a lot of noise for these two, and they're feeling it. They're entertaining this crowd. They're so focused on what they've got to do here. So impressed by this rookie. To come up against John in glassy double overhead waves is, you know, it's a massive mountain to climb, and he's staying in this heat at the moment.
He really is. 8.71 is what he needs. I think he's going to get into the excellent range. I think it might be a high 7, early 8 in my mind. Let's see what the judges think.
Yeah, Thursdays, you know, before long weekends in Australia don't get much better than this.
No, this is it.
Pumping bells. And in the round of 32, obviously, you get to see great exchanges between top seeds, form surfers, tackling competitors who are desperate for results. And João, he's one of those guys. Have a look at the numbers rolling in for him. If he couldn't get the score he needed, what he really wanted to do is chip away at the requirement. And he's fractionally just done that. 7.87 now after an 8.67, but that's still a confidence builder, Rich.
Yeah.
That's telling him he's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the judges are basically saying, keep it up, give us more, push it a little bit harder, pick a better wave, and we're gonna get you through. But that scoreline in itself is really healthy. You know, he's surfing well. The confidence is there. As you said before, he needs the right wave now if he wants to beat John.
These numbers aren't being gifted; they're being earned well and truly. That was a wave again that maybe didn't have that third turn option, But João stuffed those 2 turns into that ride. It was a beautiful speed carve into fifth row. And John Florence forced to make a decision on this one, trying to get rid of a 7.6 to up the requirement. Again, this wave gets away from him. He's going to duck through the back of that one.
Well, the rookie did the job then. He put his salesman hat on. He got John onto that wave. The priority shift goes back to João Chianca, and now he can focus in. It's a key moment here. He really needs to wait for a good wave. There's no point taking off on anything under a 7.83. There's actually no point taking off on anything that's going to be under an 8.67 is what he needs. So he needs that 9-point ride. Staying very, very close to John Florence there. Very critical.
But
dangerous.
Great. Got the sell that he needed, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And sort of pushed John into this. And didn't pan out for John Florence. So that wave just completely running off on him.
The form that John was showing just in the lead up to those Hawaiian events, the victory in the Haleiwa Challenger, Rich, he was in rare space. He was actually doing some of the best surfing we've maybe ever seen in big conditions.
Yeah. John's had this unique ability to translate what happens on a 2 to 4 foot wave into an 8 to 10 foot wave, and there's not many people that can bridge that gap, and John is really paving a unique pathway.
In saying that, hasn't had the huge breakthrough result that he probably expected in those opening 3 events. He's going after it here at Bells Beach, though. Again, trying to get rid of that 7.6 and giving it his all. So didn't have priority. João on the outside's not going to take his ride through to the end. So we'll see what John can do on the finish with this one. But these guys, I have a feeling, are going to be throwing away good numbers that potentially could have won other heats at the end of this exchange. There's still 15 minutes to go, Rich. Settle down.
Oh, sorry. I can't help but get excited. When good surfing like this happens, you feel it. You know, you feel it in your loins, man, and it's hard to stay composed when you watch surfing like this. And John's finding another gear here. This is incredible.
Just has I don't know, there's a real casual, or I should say a composure to the way he's approaching the back of the ski, then getting probably his breaths in, not racing, not frantic to get back to the takeoff zone, understands there's going to be time on the clock, and probably is aware that there will be a fight back at some point here. Yeah,
John takes off, just jams that first turn. Critical surfing here, another one, but it's this third one here. Grinds it all the way around and then flicks the tail out as well. Driving it straight back into that power source. Running all the way through to the inside.
Oh, here we go. Chianca up now. Still looking for the 7.87, but that score from John on that previous ride is yet to drop in. Chianca's got a nice steep section. This guy is surfing so fast at the moment through transition. Plenty of spark in this equipment, making an equipment change to what he rode in that opening round where he performed so well. And you've got to say the equipment choice has been spot on. He's just looked electric out there today. Absolutely incredible. This is great to see the rookie stepping up here and really taking it to John Florence, who would be, in these conditions, one of the clear favourites. And, well, John's on. Well, no doubt. You know his big bro, Lucas, 5 years older, the big wave hellman, who's won that Nazare Challenge twice. Had big wave XXL awards as well. He'd be so proud of what he's seeing from his baby brother here. Yeah, this is great surfing, and just a little caught up on that under the lip snap and dragging through that that third turn as well. But that one there, that was clean. That was 4 turns on the bowl. So as this tide is starting to drain out, Ron, we're getting more opportunity. We're getting that 3 and 4 turn connection through the bowl. Wow, just great energy. Surfing. Yeah, good surfing, solid, unrestricted. Beautiful technique there. I love how he extends that back leg towards the latter half of these turns. And again, as we've seen so many of our power surfers dropping that back arm.
just get a little caught up on that third turn, and they're the little finer details that are going to separate João and John's technique here. That was a great turn, nice and clean.
Yeah, the little trip up maybe on the previous move was all but forgotten when he ripped through that maneuver. So making the right connections. Now, I think at different stages, though, that just the urgency in his surfing has kind of tripped him up on a couple of the bumps, whereas John's standing a bit more on that back foot and really ripping through those maneuvers, accentuating every turn, drawing it out just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a wave that allows you to hold that rail until that moment that you just want to let off the accelerator. Release those fins and maintain speed as you drive back into that bottom turn.
12 minutes remaining here, and this is already the heat of the contest. So this is, you know, setting up to be a massive finish. Hopefully these set waves keep rolling on through, but the scores from the last rides for John, it was a 7.5, didn't go into the top two. João Chianca, we're waiting on his number to drop, Rich, but great surfing from both these guys. I'm loving it.
Absolutely, Ron, and just even though it didn't go into one of his top rides, I just want to have a look at the slow-mo of John's wave and just break down a couple of things here. Look how deep the bottom turn is. What John does really well is extend through the turn. If you freeze it here, just look at how much rail is in the water all the way to the nose of his board, and that's when you know the surfer is in a power position. One more thing on this frame. Just have a look at where his foot is on the tail pad. He is right over the back fin. You couldn't get any more in a power position when you're looking at a surfer. Let's roll. Drives it all the way round, and look at the nose of the board. Freeze it here. Okay, so the nose of the board is facing all the way back out the back of the wave. John's leg here, kinked right in. If we roll the tape from here, watch how he gets back out of this, shoves the board back under his feet, gets the fins engaged again, and that's that upper and lower body contortion that John does so well, and it's unique. There's no other surfers on the tour that does it like that. Great
turn to have a look at. I mean, the fact that he whipped that board into a 180 but then stabbed it into the face to get it back around without losing any speed, super impressive. João Chianca has a big number on the way. He's after an 8.67, and the way he attacked that last ride, he's going to get close to the number. On the outside though, Florence with a big section, big transition snap there, climbs the roof, great lip line float to project back out onto the open face. Now goes to that trademark layback that just possesses so much power, and he gives a couple of versions of that same turn. He was trying to up the ante on his previous ride, had a 7.5, didn't quite do it. That one will. João Chianca though, 8.5. Staying in this heat, almost got the required score. Let's have a look at the replay of John's wave.
Oh, well, John's picked up the biggest wave the entire day, up under the lip, somehow projects out onto the open face. Again, the trademark layback hack. And have a look at this thing to finish off, the biggest section of the day. And when John Florence reacts like that after a wave, you know that he is absolutely stoked with what's going on. And this man who's normally not phased, he's starting to show the emotion. Look at the commitment to this turn. This is just textbook Bell's ball surfing here. Up under the lip, projects out. Timing could be off by a millisecond and he wouldn't have made that turn. Drives around this section. Watch the back arm, throws it in there, jams through it, keeps the rail engaged.
John Florence, you know, if I was going to make a comparison to a previous CT surfer, he kind of reminds me of Taj Burrow. If Taj got that excellent score on his opening ride, he'd just go on an absolute tear. He was a real momentum surfer. John Florence has that similar thing. You know, if he gets going early, you're in so much trouble. 8.93, and the scores are coming through for that last ride, and they are looking very solid. There it is, a couple of judges going perfect on that wave. It was one of the biggest rides that we've seen today, Rich, wave height-wise, and John hammered it. He surfed with so much speed, chose his manoeuvres brilliantly, and got that big finish as well. Big smile splitting across his face for good reason. 9.93. João Chianca, despite putting up one of the most impressive heat score totals in the event, He's actually needing a two-wave combo of 18.86. We need a break here, a Bonsai Brew break. We'll be back in just a moment. Still 7.5 minutes to go. Back to the show, we have to look back on the heat that John Florence won over at the pipe in the round of 16 against João Chianca. These guys are starting to create the ultimate rivalry, inspiring each other to unbelievable performances.
You know, this is a unique situation because we've got a rookie who's pushing such an established competitor. These rivalries don't tend to happen this quickly in the game for the rookies, but I mean, just looking back on what Pipeline produced for this event, quite remarkable, and that was just such a great exchange. Here we go. He's going to fight back.
Well, he needs to, and this wave has to count. He has to go excellent with this one. Swings the tail around, needs the break combination on this wave. Couple of big turns to start, huge layback. So much speed exiting that turn. He climbs up into the pocket one more time. He had to stuff that extra turn in. He's chasing huge numbers just to better himself.
It's clear now that João Chianca, he's just trying to push it past the point, and unfortunately that's when those little mistakes start to happen. But man, hats off to this guy. He is surfing so well. I
asked him, you know, what his goals were for the year, Rich. He said he just wants to overcome the expectations that he has from people. He's doing that. I mean, his performances are legendary. Yeah, this sort of surfing is, you know, this is what we see from the best. This is what we see from the top 5 contenders. And unfortunately, just a little slip up there, but that's just coming from him giving 110%. And, well, look at that, just losing the fins, regaining composure there, and perhaps he just put his back foot off a little bit. And just great technique here, throwing fans into the sky. He's just not content with put theirs with his snaps. He adds the extras. I just love how high he's been taking his carves. He's in a position where he has to force a couple more turns in on that outside if he's going to break combination here. Yeah, well, both these surfers are just filleting these waves here. And, you know, they've made sashimi out of the Bell's Bowl because they've just been slicing these waves to absolute pieces. And even with the fall run, he's dropped a good number. Well, this is massive. This is huge. He just got a 9.23 with the fall. I mean, I didn't see going that high. It was excellent surfing. Right up there to the top end of the scale. He's broken combination, Rich. He's got a shot at it here. He needs a 9.64 with 3.5 minutes to go. They're loving how high risk he's being on the outside, obviously. Yep, you're telling me there's a chance. And there might just be a tiny little crack in that door. And he's going to have to make John give up priority here, or at least hope for a solid 3 to 4 wave set. And just a note on John Florence too, for those wondering, he's on his 6.0 Ghost model. I was talking to John Pizell on the stairs. It's his first visit here to Bells Beach. Super excited to watch it all go down. Yeah, nice of John to put a show on for him. Yeah, exactly. Just under 3 minutes to go. John's still in the driver's seat here. But, you know, you look at the performances. He's done this already this season, had those magic performances, but not gone on to the win. He can't be complacent. This guy's hitting a different gear now. After a 9.64, João Chianca, beautiful cut down and absolutely attacking that section. And you could see that wave starting to fade away into deep water. So, again, he had to force the issue. But that first turn was nuts. Yeah, good. How are you? Ross Williams watching on. Just a little nervous smile, I'd say, on his face, loving what he's seeing. He's a huge fan of surfing. But, you know, when your charge is out there, you don't want to see guys starting their rides like this. This is just such good surfing. For those of you viewing this at home, go back and watch this heat again and again and again and pick up on just how good these guys are surfing and using their rail. This is you know, no-nonsense power surfing at its best. We've seen a lot of incredible heats this year, but I think these two guys have featured in 2 of them. This has been super impressive. They've been in 2 of the highest scoring heats of the year. A minute and a half remaining here. João Chianca wants to know how much time is left. We might have some set waves approaching here. This is the kid from Saquarema who grew up idolising Gabriel Medina and former Bells champ Adriano de Souza. He's doing him proud out here at the moment, travelling with Samuel Pupo. His other good mate, Matthias Hurdy, seems destined for the CT at some point, but he needs to, you know, really perform on this next ride if he gets an opportunity. John Florence holding strong out the back with priority.
Yeah, he's also working with good mate of mine, Matty Bemrose, coach to many of the guys on tour here. Smaller inside wave run. I don't think this has 9 written on it.
No, this is, you know, a wave that probably he took off thinking
he should be applauding himself.
If I get an air section, I might have a chance, but that one just faded away. But what a heat, Rich. That was all time.
That might feel like a loss, but it's a win in terms of performance, commitment, and just stepping up in a critical moment, in a critical heat. But John Florence, that was mastery.
Yeah, that was spectacular. He was dropping a 7.6 and a 7.5. Florence kicked off with the 8.93. But, you know, if you get the biggest wave or the best wave of a heat, Rich, is there a pressure and anxiety that comes with performing?
There is.
And executing on that wave and giving it everything it has.
Yeah, I remember being out at Bells and also places like J-Bay, and you're looking at this perfect wall, and you just go, oh my gosh, just contain yourself. You know, you've got to perform. You got to really just go back into those moments and settle back into your own performance.
Well, this is a treat. Let's get